Can see our high trend here, our low trend here. We look for fake breaks, not because that's correct TA, but because that's just what Bitcoin seems to do. Anytime it gives us a clean, clear, symmetrical formation like this with coiling, we almost always see it break to the wrong direction, meaning break in the direction that it's not actually heading. So we saw that back here earlier in June with what everyone was looking at. Everyone was watching this, and you can see Bitcoin broke to the downside, didn't make a new low, then actually made a higher high. This one's a little more confusing because it did lead to a lower low. But this is what I'm talking about. By fake break, maybe that would look something like this. And I'd like to see that 37.4 level tested. That would be the first step to something happening. Let's say that. Looking back in this chart, not super duper spicy here yet, but anything can change. It won't take a big move, really, especially for Bitcoin. It will not take a strong move to make this chart look very different very quickly. So we were looking at these lows coming up. On the collaboration stream yesterday, we were pointing this out a little bit. We had 3 higher lows. Typically, that is a good sign or a bullish sign, but it didn't really play. Let's talk about GBTC, because I know a lot of people are looking at Greyscale. What's Greyscale doing? How's this going to impact the market? I think before we say anything, the first thing that should be said about GBTC is that it isn't actually BTC. It is essentially an IOU or a share issued by Greyscale that represents their holdings. So really, no matter what happens with GBTC, that doesn't change a spot market directly. However, there are many common, what do we even call these things? Strategies that involve GBTC that might impact the price. So, for example, right now the Bitcoin premium on Greyscale is negative. That in itself doesn't mean much, but what it does mean with these Bitcoin unlocking, or these GBTC unlocking, is that actors can look to hedge their positions by going short on spot or selling spot, and then they can buy back these GBTC. They can remain net neutral, and they can essentially arbitrage the difference. So that is the bearish take on that. That is not just possible, it's almost certainly happening. They can sell at one price and buy at another price, and whatever is in between is their profit. They're playing market maker. Let's look at Kraken's report, actually, because I don't trade on Grayscale. I don't trade GBTC, so I don't know as well as what some institution is going to say. So this was put up by Kraken, guys. I don't use Kraken as an exchange. I'm not a fan of the exchange, but they put on they just publish spot on articles. Sign up for their news thing, I guess. They publish really, really insightful pieces of information, and so I figured I'd share this one with you. GBTC unlock a tailwind. They even named them. They're storytellers over there, Kraken. So recent data indicates that close to 40,000 Bitcoin worth of Greyscale Bitcoin Trust GBTC shares will unlock in July, meaning that GBTC holders who bought 6 months ago can now sell their shares on the secondary market. Some participants believe this unlock could weigh on spot BTC prices. That was just what I was saying. However, it appears that the unlock is not having and won't have an immediate impact on spot prices. SEC filings suggest that most of the shares that are unlocked are owned by large institutions who presumably bought it to harvest that premium, as we were talking about. I guess that is called, I didn't really read this article beforehand, called net asset value that the shares were trading at. So to do this, market participants likely short Bitcoin in the spot futures market to avoid being impacted by price volatility. I say this time and time again, guys. Really big whales, the biggest whales, aren't long or short. They're almost always net neutral. They're looking to profit off of any movement. They're just essentially supplying liquidity, and they don't typically really go all in. They're not apes. They are boring in their practice. So the unlock means that participants who attempt who attempted to arbitrage GBTC's premium can hold on to their GBTC shares. Okay, so what's important is that is because GBTC is trading at a negative premium. Okay, to keep their shorts on, and keep their shorts on, meaning there is no net selling of Bitcoin yet. However, market participants could also sell their GBT shares and cover their spot future short, which would result in net buying. So essentially the reason I want to share this with you is Kraken's take on it. It looks like most of the unlocking here is going to happen right around the middle of the month. So we're looking 15th, maybe 15th or 20th. That's when we're going to see if this actually has any impact. Here's a little chart with their discount, GBTC discount. I think something really interesting here is if you look at GBTC or you look at Greyscale's holdings and you see their premiums, you'll notice that Bitcoin is negative, yes. However, not all of their assets are. Litecoin's still trading at a 600-ish% premium. I believe Bitcoin Cash trading at a premium. What's interesting there is we're also going to see unlocking periods. I believe Litecoin's is as well this month. And we actually, this doesn't really make sense to what we know about the crypto market, but we may actually see that play opposite. So if this turns out to be bearish, we may see bullish action on, say, Litecoin or Bitcoin Cash, whatever, as a premium, because actors can look to sell that premium and buy spot. So it'd be the kind of the exact opposite scenario described with Bitcoin and GBTC. I think that's spicy. That's spicy. You guys know I love Litecoin. I'd like to see some action. I'd like to see some action there. Similar. If you see this large jump, that's when difficulty actually adjusts and restarts the cycle. And you can see it spiked up again. Spiked up initially to over 16 days. So immediately after the difficulty adjustment, it looked as if we were going to see another repeat, another huge drop in difficulty. You can see that kind of happen back here. But since then, and this is actually just today, we have seen hash rate pick up. You can see that here as our graph dropped down to under 10 days. That's actually ahead of schedule. So if we look, the estimate here, 8.5%-ish, we are actually mining blocks now faster than one every 10 minutes. This is the opposite scenario we were in, it was just like a week ago or two. And I don't really still believe it has much to do with price. I do think difficulty adjustments down should weigh slightly bullish and difficulty adjustments up slightly bearish. But this, it's only been 3 days. These typically take 14. Ideally, they take 14. It's been 3 days, and so this chart doesn't necessarily tell us much right now. It does tell us that, hey, people are still mining, even though, there's a lot of spookiness of difficulty adjusting. Miners are still mining. We are seeing blocks being minted, and so things are okay. They're carrying on as usual. As these blocks are mined, I do expect changes to this. We may see them slow down. We may see them even speed up. I theorized last time that a lower difficulty means more profitability, which should attract more miners. Maybe old equipment can come back online. Maybe people in areas with electricity that don't have access to the lowest rates on the market, maybe they're profitable again. They can turn their miners back on. So that's kind of what we're seeing. We saw a little reluctance in directly after the change, and now we're seeing it pick back up here. So that's a good sign to me. Kind of just means business as usual. This chart, we can see this drop here. This very well may be some of those miners coming online. There's no way to know for sure who is running the mining. We just can see the hash. So some miners somewhere came online here today. We see that. If we see difficulty continue to drop like this, we may make that statement that Chinese miners have relocated. Yeah, and they're mining again. We'll keep an eye on fork.lol. Great site. I don't know who runs it, but great. What's changed in the last day? Sushi's up. Thorchain, Harmony, Decentraland, Yearn. Looks like DeFi is having a little bit of a rally here with this sideways action. We see a lot of DeFi tokens. Pancake gained 5%, but you're back to, you lost 5% yesterday or the day before. Maybe we will pull up Kucoin token. 35% less 24 hours. Whatever. I just said I wouldn't. Now I will. Kucoin. Oh, hello, Kucoin token. $13.44. This is what I was talking about. It's like you have a huge 40% day, but you're not even back to where you were early May. Like you're just kind of retracing. Let's see where this is in the retrace. It's better than not seeing any retracement across the board. Let's see the total retrace. We passed the 618, headed for the 786 at $14.45. All right, I can see that. Let's see if that lines up with anything. Probably that monthly resistance. I bet that's right there. Yep, boom. Got the eyes of a hawk here. So monthly close, monthly resistance. Ooh. This chart actually looks decent. You see, it might have found support here at the previous monthly high closes. Now it's reaching back up for 1450. That might not be the easiest level, though. Might not be the easiest price point to break through. Weekly looking to roll over. I wish we could see that on Bitcoin. Nice little catch there on momentum. Did have bearish divergence on the high. Interesting. The problem here is with exchange coins, exchange tokens, whatever, they're very much centralized and they're very much controlled by the exchanges. And you can say that about any coin, but not to the same degree. To the same degree, it's like they literally control them. Like they have 100% of the supply, maybe. Man. 250. What did we do differently yesterday? No idea. When in Rome, right? Play your rat Durgoody, 100% of the supply. So wait, you're telling me that exchanges that create a token, pre-mine it, don't have like 100% of the supply? Of course, 100% is just hyperbole, but for all intents and purposes, 100%. I don't know why. I don't know how you look at it any other way. It's like if I make an ERC20 token, I control the supply. I can just pre-mine it. Joel, an alert. If it breaks 1450, it could get pretty interesting here. That's like I said, the monthly resistance is the 786 retrace. It could look to make a move. It's just going to have to break through that monthly. Numbers get very solid with our fib retrace tool here. So $20 high. If it can break it, our first target would be looking at like 51. That's a solid move. That's close to a 4x from here. However, there's just likely to be so much resistance on the way up there that it's not time. It's not moon targets time. I think what's actually more probable here is something like this. Why? Something like this. I could see this trend line being retested, especially if we get a rejection at that monthly. I could see that trend line being hit again down about $5. I don't invest in these kind of coins. No way. No way. Bitcoin. Could you be any more sideways, Bitcoin? You could not. Check dominance? Sure. What's up, Felipe? Felipe Knob. Knob. Let's see. Still haven't gotten there yet. Lower low. Ah, interesting. Okay. This is what Musk tweeted. Very, very hip, Elon. Very, very cool. Very cool, very hip. Very, what does the mirror do, Professor? Shows us nothing more or less than our deepest, most desperate desires. And it's just green candles. I mean, everybody likes green candles, right?